Right, I think we are live. Just want to make sure that we are live. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, apparently so. Welcome, everyone. I am Blade Drummer, and it's 2021. Happy New Year to you all. Now, last year obviously hasn't been great, and it's. I mean, it's a lot. A lot of people seem to think that when you go into the next year, well, quite a few people seem to think that when you go into the next year, things are suddenly going to be all better again, and it's not. I would say we're still a couple of months, well, maybe April, May time, until things are okay. But yeah, it's been a difficult one, obviously, for everyone, and I personally I'm quite content with it. Like being inside, and a lot of people, it's different for everyone, obviously. But I've got a lot of things to do inside. So like watch films and watch plenty of TV shows that I've got to still catch up on. Play some games and read some stuff. There's lots for me to do, and so yeah, it's been fine for me. Obviously, it's not been great for others, and that does really suck. But I think we are getting quite close to hopefully getting out of this. Obviously, I know in America, where they recently stormed the Capitol, which was disgusting and disgraceful, and that's kind of been taken care of now. But it's not a great way to start the year, basically. So yeah, here we are now, and I am here to answer some questions. And I did ask people on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, quite a few different places, for some questions for me to answer. So yeah, it's see if we can find some questions. If you are in the chat, hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you are doing well. I think I will maybe wait for one or two people to maybe pop in, and then I will start answering some questions. So yeah, I really hope that 2021 is a fantastic year for everyone, and once things are settled, once the vaccine's kind of gone out to everyone, then we can go back to some kind of normality. But for now, we just got to put up with it for what, 2-3 months maybe, I'd say. Maybe a bit longer, I don't know. I'd like to think that it would be only that length of time. I mean, here in England anyway. Everywhere else, I'd imagine it would be roughly the same, because once we sort of get everyone vaccinated, then that'll be the same all round, in the same kind of speed. So yeah, I really hope that you do have a great 2021 anyway, no matter what is going on, and you pick a new hobby. You do. If you don't have a hobby, pick something to do. Exercise is great. There's a lot of things you can do if you're kind of bored at home. And yeah, I really hope that all your kind of any kind of dreams and ambitions that you have, you can still achieve them, I'm sure. There's so much you can do from the confinements of just your chair and your computer. I wanted to start doing this before COVID happened, and then I just never got round to it. I kept meaning to do it and then putting it off, and then you know the usual. So yeah, it's tricky, but I started to do it because I wanted to do it, and I thought, do you know what, this is a perfect time for me to finally get on and make this channel, because I've been putting it off way too long, and I'm so happy that I did. And if there's anything that you want to do, then by all means, just as long as you can do it and it's inside, then go for it. There's so many things you can do. But anyway, looks like we have a few more viewers. Welcome all to the ones in the chat. Say hello if you're here. It'd be nice to hear from you. Right, so I am going to start reading some questions that you have very graciously give to me. And going to go through some of those, and we'll go from there. So let's see what we've got. Oh. Chat amongst yourselves while I do this. It's just trying to find all of the questions. I really do appreciate all these questions, by the way. It was really nice to see you give me some questions. So we're going to start off with a few here. So the first one is from TT Chippy. It's an interesting name. And the question is, what made you choose to do a salute in your outros? It looks like a US one. Well, I don't know. I just thought it was just something a bit more kind of a bit more solid, a bit more interesting than just going like sitting here and just saying, well, that is me out. It just feels better. That is me out. I don't know. It was much better. I felt better when I did that rather than just sitting here and just going, that is me out, because I didn't feel like that was enough. I really wanted it to have some kind of impact. So yeah, that's why I do it. There's nothing to do with it being American or any kind of salute or whatever like that. I'm not sure. Just to kind of but yeah, we move. Let's see what the next question is. Oh, also, by the way, if you do have any questions down here, please feel free to just give me to them like live. Obviously, I asked for quite a lot. Oh, not quite a lot. I asked for questions beforehand, and obviously you've given me quite a few. But if you want to ask me any questions live, then whack them in the chat. And yeah, I look forward to seeing those and seeing, because it's kind of more, well, I guess when you kind of put on the spot more, it's just you get a better response. Or, I don't know, it sounds a bit more like I don't know, I have no idea. Hello, Benjamin. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining me on here. Good to see you on here. Right. So let's see. Our next question is from Dark Banana 87. Interesting name. And the answer. The question is: do you miss the cinema? Yes, I really love the cinema, and I do miss it, but then I also don't at the same time. And I'll tell you why. I miss it because it's like almost, when it was open, it was almost like a second home to me, and I would go there a lot, watch so many different films. It was just fantastic. I absolutely love it, and the people there were great. They all knew me. It was a really nice experience, aside from rinsing my pocket to get all the food and drink when I know every time I should bring my own, but I don't. But yeah, it's just that experience of being there and having a huge screen, amazing speakers. It's, well, depending on where you go, I guess. An IMAX cinema is the way to go if you really want to have a full cinema experience. But even normal cinema experiences are great. I really do just love that cinema experience with, as I said, with the sound and I'm losing my track here. But anyway, yes. So I am missing it. Yes, I am missing the cinema a lot. What I'm not missing is the people in the cinema who don't know proper cinema etiquette at all. You know, like that you'll catch someone on their phone, and you'll catch a little glimpse of their phone, and it's like, oh man, stop being on your phone. Like, unless it's an emergency, you've got no real reason. I always have it on do not disturb, and I keep it in my pocket, and that's it. I'm done. You know. And then you got people that eat popcorn really loud or anything really loud, and they bring stuff. They bring stuff with them. Hang on, let's see here. Hey man, I don't want to pronounce your name incorrectly. Is it Priyanshu Singh Rana? If I got that wrong, I'm really sorry, but I tried. At least I tried. Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are things going with you? Benjem, apologise if it was reviewed and I missed it, but did you watch? Yes, I did actually review Monster Hunter, Benjem. I did watch it, and I thought it was awful. Yes, I got it right. Yeah. Yeah, Benjem, if you want to see my full thoughts on Monster Hunter, go and check out the review. But yeah, I really didn't like it. Anyway, so sorry, yeah, so people in the cinema, people that eat loudly, people that talk at like the volume that I'm talking now to each other, and you're just like, are you serious about this? Like, you just don't know how to behave at a cinema at all. It feels like you're just home and you're sat next to someone and you can just talk to them while the film's on. There's so many other people there. You need to have some kind of care and consideration about this. But yeah, those things just annoy the hell out of me. But luckily, I've seen that there's going to be quite a lot. I think it's Warner Brothers, and there's going to be quite a lot of films that will come out in the cinema, but they'll also be streaming at the same time. So that means, and what I hope it means, is that there's going to be a lot of people who are, the rude people who go to cinemas who don't know how to behave in a cinema, will just stay at home and just watch it at home. And that would be really nice. And then the people that actually enjoy the cinema experience and want to just sit there in peace and just watch the film as it's intended can enjoy the whole experience. Without these idiots, being around. So that would be brilliant. Honestly, that would be so good. Anyway, let's see now. Next question. Um, oh, there's quite a few here. Dan.Joel84 asks, what got you into doing reviews? I think I touched on that a little bit before, but I think for just wholly for my love of films, purely for my love of films, and also the fact that I was watching so many other reviewers on YouTube, and they have an absolute blast talking about films, and you can really see it, you know. And I absolutely loved it. I loved every time they had a review for something. If you know, you'd kind of almost you'd take what they said for as gospel. Because the more they spoke, the more you knew that they knew quite a lot about films. So when something came out, usually because it was a lot of American ones especially, they always got to watch films before us, except for Avengers Endgame, which we actually got to see before them. But aside from that, so it would always be nice to watch that before I went to see the film. Now, I'm not saying that if they said a film was bad, I wouldn't go and see it. I still would, because at the end of the day, it is a matter of opinion, and I love that. It's just opinions are great, and if we all like the same stuff, it will be boring. So it's good to all like different things. But anyway, with seeing all that stuff, and being a big film lover myself, I thought, yeah, do you know what? I want to do that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a long road ahead of me, but I want to do it. And no matter what kind of happened in regards to views and like subscribers, etc., I would still really enjoy doing it. And that's one of the most important things, is to just enjoy doing what you do. Or any kind of channel that you have, you just enjoy doing what you do. Because if you don't, there's no point, and I do, and I absolutely love talking about films. And slowly but surely, as the subs kind of started trickling in little by little, and I got to nearly 250 now, I believe. It gets me excited, and it makes me really happy that 250 people will give my channel their time of day to watch, and that's amazing. So yeah, it's so much appreciated, and I absolutely love doing what I do. And my main sort of one of my biggest sort of hopes with this channel is to kind of build, like just a sort of get a collective audience of people, and just sort of, what's the word for it? Just a group of people who all kind of chat amongst each other, and they chat to me at the same time. It's like a little kind of online society, so to speak. But yeah, to even get to something like 1,000 views is huge for me, and it's not huge for others, but to me it's massive. The fact that 1,000 people want to see my stuff is brilliant. But I've just got to keep on going, keep on doing what I do, and fingers crossed something happens. But the main point is that I love it. So yeah, to answer your question, it's because I love film, and there's been quite a lot of people that have inspired me to want to do it, So yeah, that's one of them anyway. So, there you go. That's why I got into it. Let's see. Benjamin, what films are you most looking forward to being released this year? Ooh. Do you know, there's been quite a few that have obviously that have been put forward because of COVID, and I guess quite a few Marvel, a lot of the Marvel stuff, especially. That's what I really am sort of looking forward to, especially. Like there's a TV series and the films, which I'm really looking forward to. The new Top Gun I'll be interested in. A Quiet Place 2, I was really looking forward to that, and then obviously just vanished into this year. No Time to Die from James Bond. I'm not particularly not really excited to watch it, but I think it's going to be a good film, and it's going to be Daniel Craig's last film as James Bond. So yeah, I'm genuinely curious as to what that's going to be like, and I'm looking forward to it in some manner. Yeah. As I said, you got the God, I'm trying to think now. Eternals, but that's Marvel. There's a new Halloween film that'll be probably more October. The new Mission Impossible 7, I think we're on now. The last Mission Impossible was so good. Loved it. Loved it. Obviously you've got Fast and Furious 9. I think it's 9. Why are we on 9? I don't know. Why? Why does there have to be a Fast and Furious 9? I don't know. I know that they're talking about doing a 10 as well, and I think they did say it was going to be in space, or maybe some of it in space. I'm going to go and see it anyway, because I always do. Because even if they're stupid, because they always are stupid, they're just stupid fun. They're entertaining, even when you're sitting there knowing how bad it is. You still have a good time because you turn your brain off and you watch the Fast and Furious films. And yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting experience of Fast and Furious. Naturally, as soon as The Rock came into it, it got quite a lot better. Because the one before that was pretty bad. Was it it's like a reboot or something like that? Shack Attack. Hey man, how you doing? Shack Attack. So Fast and Furious 9, I have no idea what it's going to be like. But we'll see. You got Godzilla versus King Kong, which should be interesting. I was really excited for the last Godzilla, and then it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. It was quite fun to watch, but aside from that, no. I think the trailer made it look better than what it was. I think another problem that it had was that it showed way too many scenes with the humans and sort of less of Godzilla, which I didn't care about the humans at all. You watch a monster movie for the monsters because you want to see them fight. You want to see the good action, and you do see some of that, and some of the action is good, but a lot of the time they were sort of more focused on the human side of the story, and I didn't care basically. So yeah, Godzilla versus King Kong should be good. I hope it's good, as long as they focus more on the fact of them two fighting. Obviously, I know that you can't have them two fighting throughout the whole film because it would eventually get a bit boring, and you do have to have some sort of change. but make it a good change. Don't just focus mainly on the humans. Focus on what everyone wants to see, which is Kong versus Godzilla. You've got the Suicide Squad. Now, obviously, the last Suicide Squad was absolute crap. Basically, it was it was awful, and I am on the fence about this. I mean, I'm really hoping that it's going to be a lot better, because it should be. I wanted Suicide Squad to be so good, and then it wasn't. And we also, not only was it a bad film, but we also managed to get our worst Joker possible, because Jared Leto was pretty bad. And I don't fully blame him, obviously. I mean, obviously he had bad dialogue, and the makeup was a bit bleh. I mean, what kind of a Joker has damaged tattoo on his forehead? It's ridiculous. Anyway, if I get into that, I'm gonna be here all night. So, I hope Suicide Squad will be good. Yeah. What's next? You got Spider-Man 3, but again, that's going into the Marvel category. I'm ridiculously excited for Spider-Man 3, especially the fact that they're going to have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it, which, oh my god, all them three together is just going to be insane. And I'm really hoping they do the Sinister Six as the bad guys. That will be so good. Dune, or Dune, however you want to say it looks so good. I remember when the first trailer came out. Oh, it blew me away. The first trailer. There's only been one trailer, I think. I think there's only been one trailer for it, which was meant to be out last December. So I was gutted that it got pushed forward. And I think it's been pushed forward to October 1st, I think. So yeah, really excited for Dune. That's going to be... I really hope it's going to be a brilliant film. And we'll go from there. I mean, also, and it was a nice little touch to have Pink Floyd in the trailer as well, which actually quite a lot of people didn't pick up on. But it wasn't exactly Pink Floyd. It was a rendition of it. But it was, fantastic. So all around, it gave me chills. And I think the fact is that I don't know a lot about kind of what's going on in it. I mean, I kind of do, because I know the story from the sort of the past, the films and the book, etc. But to people who don't know much about it, it would be, you wouldn't really have a lot of clue what's kind of going on, which is good, because the problem these days with trailers is that so many of them are guilty of showing literally the whole film in the trailer. I mean, and it's ridiculous. I don't see the point in it. Back to the films. I hope you're well. My name's hang around, I was putting kids to bed. Wanted to quickly pop in and say continue the great work. Thank you very much, Back to the Films. I really appreciate your support. Even though you're not able to stick around, thank you. Thank you for your support. And I hope they're not too much trouble getting to bed. Anyway, so I hate the fact that trailers just give away the whole film. And then you kind of almost, it puts you off going to see it, because it's been spoiled for you, basically. I mean, who'd have thought that a trailer would spoil stuff for you when it's literally just meant to be there to entice you to want to see the film, because it shows all the best bits. A few anyway, and little cuts. But don't show the whole film. Don't show, the twists or whatever like that, because then when you go to see it, doesn't have that same kind of impact. It's not great, But anyway, so No Time to Die. Any other films? The Matrix 4. I don't know how that's going to go. I think that it's weird that Neo and Trinity are in it, but Morpheus isn't, unless he has been confirmed, but I haven't seen anything yet. even though what's weird is that Neo and Trinity are the ones that die in the Matrix, and Morpheus is the only one who survives. But yeah, he's not in it, and Neo and Trinity are in this, so I don't know. As long as it's written well, and they've explained it properly as to how Neo and Trinity have come back, or maybe it's not. In the Matrix, anything can happen, so you know they could do anything with it. So who knows? All I know is that I just really want it to be good. I mean, of course, I love Keanu Reeves anyway. He's just great. He's just such a great man. So yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing it, but I'm also very nervous as to what the hell they're going to do next. But we'll see. So yeah, thanks for the question, Benjem. Those are my sort of films that I'm looking forward to, the ones that I can remember anyway. Anyone who's actually in the chat at the minute, is there any kind of films that you're looking forward to this year? Anyone's in particular? I'm asking you a question now. Okay, let's go to the next question. Right. So next question is from Clouder X FF7. So I'm going to guess that's something Final Fantasy related. Clouder. Okay, anyway. Worst film of 2020. Interesting. There have been some real stinkers last year. And what I'm having more difficulty on is deciding which one is the worst of the lot, because they're all pretty bad. The list, anyway. Do you know what? I think it's got to be Artemis Fowl. Oh my god, what a horrendous film that was. And it's weird because I really like Kenneth Branagh, but he did such a bad job here. And do you know what? I say that. I do take it back a little bit because it's not entirely his fault. Because I 100% think that the studio got a chance to sort of do their own little edits and bits afterwards as well. So I think that it's not entirely his fault. I feel like they took the film as well and they did their bits to it, and then it came out. And oh my god, it's awful. And I read the book as well. And the first book it's pretty good. You know, the book is pretty good. And I think I read it so that I could really see what the difference was and if it was anything like the book in general. And it wasn't. Like, maybe one or two parts, but Jesus Christ, they absolutely killed it. They really did. And not in a good way either. I always think that's weird. When you say, oh yeah, like, he killed it. And you think that's a good way. But then also, like, he probably killed it. Could you use it in a bad and good way? I don't know. It's all that lingo going on. Yeah, they destroyed it. There we go. There's a definite word that you can't use for good, I guess. Yeah, nothing like the book. Awful. Even if you haven't read the book, you'll just see what a crap film it is. I really wouldn't recommend watching it at all. If someone suggests it, just throw them out the house or something. Some honourable mentions, and I can't even really say honourable because there's no honour at all. There's nothing honourable about these films whatsoever. Dolittle, the Dolittle film, which was awful. And I thought it might have been pretty good with Robert Downey Jr., but nope, really was not. I remember when I saw the trailer and I thought, oh no, this is going to be bad, isn't it? Yep, I was right. Bloodshot with Vin Diesel. Ugh, that was another bad one too. Super Intelligence. I don't even know why I bothered with that. James Corden and Melissa McCarthy. Wow. Just wow. And if I remember, Shack Attack, I think mentioned it to me at one point for me to watch it. I said I didn't want to, but I did in the end. And it was horrendous. It really was awful. Any others? Fantasy Island is just plain bad. I'd stay away from that film. There were quite a lot of stinkers from last year, and I would 100% recommend that you stay away from all of them, basically, because you will not have a good time with any of them. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh, got to stay hydrated. Right. So let's move on to the next question. Next question is from... Oh, hang on. Is that... Yeah. Next question is from Solid Pink. Interesting. Are you excited for the new Marvel phase? So WandaVision, Falcon, Loki, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man 3. Yes, very much so. I have said this earlier about how much I love this. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I am very, very excited. I think WandaVision is out next week. Yes, next Friday. So I am very excited for that, to see where that goes, because I have no idea where this new phase is going to go. Obviously, it's going to be dealing with the multiverse. So yeah, I'm really excited for the way that they handle the multiverse, because now Marvel can do anything that they want with it. Because multiverse, you can do anything. You can bring anyone back. You can do anything you like. So I'm very excited for it. Danny Mick reacts. Hello, man. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Watching football, but I'm popping in for a few. Okay, nice one. Who is playing? I don't know too much about American football. I know a couple of what some teams are called, but I don't follow it myself. Although it does look quite fun. It does look quite interesting to watch. The Super Bowl, which is always huge, but I never watch it. But maybe I should. Seems something interesting. But anyway, yes. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. So with the multiverse, you can do whatever you want and bring anyone back. Personally, as you can see on my chat, like the picture in my chat, I really want them to bring back Steve Rogers. Now, Chris Evans did say that if the script, it was viable, it was smart, and it brought back Cap in a way that was sort of believable, then he would come back. He would do it. So I'm really hoping that they get on with that and they get it sorted. I meant to say that they won. Oh, nice one. It's always good when your team wins. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they bring back Steve Rogers, because I'm not like, I am excited for Winter Soldier and Falcon, but I just don't really care about Falcon. I don't like Falcon being Cap. I didn't like him in the comics because I didn't like him, and I really hope that, that he does a good job. If he does a good job, then great. But to me, Captain America will always be Steve Rogers. And I guess I just got to see if he can earn the shield. And yeah, as I said, there's so much that they can do. Really excited for the phase. I think it's phase 4 now. Yeah. And yeah, we'll see where they go with it. Loki, I have no idea what's going on, but that's great also. Yeah, so we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens in Loki and especially in all the others as well. Nail biter. Yeah, those are great. I love the football games where, football's obviously different to us than it is to you in meanings. Our football will be soccer to you. But yeah, they're like the heart in your mouth moments. They're always great. Oh, thank you. I'm still quite new to this, so it's interesting to. I'm using Streamlabs OBS. And it took a bit of time to try and sort of get all this sort of ready, and I was a bit nervous as to how it was going to be, because I had literally zero idea how to do any of this. But luckily, there was a lot of help on YouTube and stuff like that to sort of get me through it, and yeah, I think this will only improve, as it goes on, because obviously this is what it is. Midnight Gaming. Hello, man. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. What's your next video going to be about? It's going well. That's for certain. It's going to be about WandaVision. Because I'm really excited about that, and they're only going to be doing it episode by episode, like every week, one episode a week. So I'm going to be just basically doing a review for the first episode, just to kind of see where it's going and if it looks like it's kind of going on the right path. And if I still know what the hell's going on, because I remember watching the WandaVision trailer, and even I think they released maybe 2 or 3 trailers for it. And yeah, it confused the hell out of me. I was just like, what is going on here? But I think it's part of the multiverse. And you probably see Doctor Strange show up at the end of the series or something like that, or maybe Scarlet Witch is going mad. I don't know. There's many things that you can think about for it, but we'll see. It'll all be revealed nearer to the end. But I like the fact that the way they've kind of set it up is that it will be once a week, and then by the time WandaVision's finished, Falcon and Winter Soldier will literally be out a week after. I think the week after WandaVision finishes, and they're doing it like that. And then literally as Falcon and Winter Soldier finish, then it will be Loki will be next. So they really kind of know what they're doing with this. Gathered, I would like it to be all together, but hey, we can't all get what we want, unfortunately. Let's see what we got going. Well, it looks good. Oh, thank you, Danny. I really appreciate that. It's not easy. It's not. There is a lot to kind of think about and do. All right, man. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and enjoy your football party. Do you know? I really want to. I don't want to get your last name wrong. Nell Sex, is that it? Sesh. I'm sorry. I'm gonna butcher this. So I'm just gonna say your A dot. Recently found your content from Reddit. How long have you been doing this for? Oh God, I think I started doing this in March. Yeah, so not been too long. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I kept putting it off until then COVID happened and we were stuck indoors. So I almost had, I had no excuse after that. It was like, right, I'm indoors now, got my computer, let's get it on. And yeah, I've just been doing my videos every week, and I've been really enjoying them. As I didn't know what was going to happen with my reviews, whether it would be, I'd only get like a couple of views on my videos or a couple of subs from, say, friends and family, etc. I didn't know how it was going to go, but I'm nearly on sort of 250 subscribers now, which is nice. It's really nice to see that you lot here, thank you as well. I really appreciate it. You deem my content worthy of your time, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Like, that's just amazing. My ultimate goal, I say my ultimate, like, it sounds like I'm not aiming too high, but even to get 1,000 subs, like, just that alone for me would be huge. Just to even get that little community going of everyone like chatting amongst each other and to me, and to have some great streams, some great live streams, and to also do my normal reviews and then have people chat amongst each other on those. And that would be fantastic. I would absolutely love that. And then from there on, we'll see. YouTube is a difficult journey. But it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So I just have to keep going. The most important thing is that I enjoy it, because if I didn't, there would be absolutely no point. Because I would hate doing it every week, which isn't good. Which I do, because I absolutely love film and I love talking about it. I love doing my skits. I really need to do more skits in my shows. When I first started, I was doing, it took me a bit of time to kind of gain a bit of confidence, but I started doing like relatively sort of big skits in the house and in the garden. And then for my Last of Us Part 2 review, I did a review in... not a review, sorry. I did a skit in the forest, about 20 minutes away from me. So it's quite far out, actually. Well, the biggest forest that I could find. Anyway, and not 20 minutes, maybe 10. That's not important. Ugh. But yeah, that was fantastic. I had such good fun doing it. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It is probably my most ambitious sort of skit. And then after that, I started doing more skits, and they went on and on and on. Especially my Star Wars trilogy of skits, which is on The Mandalorian Season 1, The Mandalorian Season 2, Part 1, or Episode 1, and The Rise of Skywalker. And there's a trilogy of sort of skits that are probably my favourite, actually, probably my best work. So go and check those out if you haven't seen those. But I am trying to do more skits now. I have a green screen now, which is probably when you guys have been in my sort of channel, because you're relatively new, aren't you? Especially in Midnight Gaming and Nail Sets. I'm not going to try and say that name again. I am sorry. You're relatively new, so all you've seen is kind of my green screen, which is a nice sort of new addition to my reviews. and I'm gradually sort of upgrading as I go along. Because before, my reviews, all you would see would be this, like part of my bedroom, my ceiling, and my DVDs, Blu-rays. Who gets DVDs anymore? I don't know. It really bugs me when people say, "Oh, I can't tell the difference between DVD and Blu-ray," and I don't get how. How can you not tell the difference? It doesn't make sense. There's so much quality difference, but I won't get into that anyway. I'm just a sucker for good quality stuff. What else have we got? Midnight Gaming, great, can't wait, your videos are hilarious. Oh, thank you so much, man. I really, really do appreciate stuff like this. Any kind of little comment goes a long way with me. It means so much, and it really does. It gives me that further drive to want to do more. So yeah, it's so much appreciated, honestly. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you sort of subbing to my channel and even being here with me now in the live stream. It's all very much appreciated. Let's see what we got here. It's pronounced a nail sex. Nail sex. Yeah, I think I said that at one point, and then I kept butchering it every time. Do you get paid doing this, or do you have a normal job? No, I would love to be paid to be a YouTuber. That would be the dream. Would be to be paid. At the minute, I work at Games Workshop, which are a store that do like Warhammer figures. I don't know if you've heard of Warhammer or not. I'm sure you have. They are huge. But yeah, just like little miniatures that you build and paint, and then you build like an army, and then you put it on the tabletop, and then you fight other people's armies, and it's a lot of fun, and it's actually been really nice to do that over lockdown, because it's just it gives you something to do, especially like the building and the painting is a lot of fun. Obviously the fighting and the actual gameplay itself you can't do because, well, you can't be with people. But yeah, the actual modelling side of stuff is a lot of fun, and it's nice to work somewhere that you're passionate about. So when people come in, you have great chats with them about everything. You have great chats with everyone who comes in, and you absolutely love helping people. Ugh. So yeah, I would absolutely love to be paid for this, like to do reviews and just talk about films. Maybe one day, but for now, I'm just doing it purely because I enjoy it, and that's probably the main. That's the main thing about having a channel, is that you enjoy doing what you do. Got anything else? No. Okay. Right. So, Chris Harness. Let's see. Chris Harness TV. Welcome. You've added. I believe. You're on my Twitter, which is awesome. Thank you very much for your support. Again, it means so much for you to just even be in here and stuff. It's great. I know that House of the Dragon, I think it's called. I know it's definitely going to be made. House of the Dragon. I'm pretty sure that is. If it's not, then correct me, but I'm pretty sure it's called House of the Dragon. Yes. Now, I don't know about you, how you feel about this. I love Game of Thrones up to season 7. Maybe up to season 8, actually. No, yeah, up to season... I guess, yeah, because I liked all of season 7. And then season 8 was a huge disappointment. And it was just rushed. And it really just... it let the whole show down, which was really a shame because it's an absolutely tremendous show. Such great characters, story, action. Everything was just so well done. And then it just got ruined. And I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, a lot of people agreed with that. Some people enjoyed it. And do you know what? If you enjoyed it, good on you. Because as I said before, it's just a matter of opinions. And yeah, I didn't. It probably would have been one of, like, maybe my favourite TV show if it had finished off well, like really well. Unfortunately, it's not the case. And it has ruined my desire to want to start it again and watch it all over, unless I just watch up to season 7 and then stop. And just like, yeah, that's fine, that's ended, that's okay, done. But yes, House of the Dragon, I believe it's called. I don't know when it's coming out though, but fingers crossed this one is a lot better than season 8 anyway. A lot of people are going to be on the fence about watching it because of how bad season 8 was of Game of Thrones. But I still will anyway. I think they still will. Just to see what it's like. What we got next? I know Warhammer, but it's so expensive. Yes, it is a very expensive hobby. I haven't got the money for the... See, it's determined that it's unpaid. Yes, Warhammer is very expensive. But you know what you're getting yourself into when you start doing it. Yeah, of course. I am determined to do this unpaid. Because I, you know, even if there wasn't sort of a like an end goal, even if there was no monetization at all in the whole of YouTube, I would still be happy to just put out reviews because I love talking about film. And I love building that community where people can talk to each other. And I can chat with everyone and everyone states their opinions. And it's great. You know, it's a great time. It's a great chat. And when I see it on other, like, a lot bigger sort of reviewers like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Stans, something like that, Stans. Yeah, bigger reviewers. When I see them do it and I see all their community that they've built and how much love they get, that's like a pipe dream to be up sort of where they are in that sort of. I mean, Jeremy and sort of Chris are on about like 1 million subscribers. To even think about 1 million subscribers just blows my head. I think I'd be sort of delirious with it. Even 1,000 subs, I'd be delirious with it. I'd be like, wow, 1,000 people. Yes, Rowena. Once you get 1,000 subscribers, and 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, then you get monetized. You do start off with like pennies or cents in America. And yeah, so it's, but then by the time you get to that 1,000, you know, YouTube starts recognizing you a bit more, and then more and more people kind of come into the channel, and you go from there, and hopefully you kind of do that kind of like have that snowball effect, and then you go up, you know, and it's great. But as I said before, even if none of this was monetized whatsoever, I would still love doing this because I love talking about film and I want to build a community that love talking about film and TV series. Now, when I first started, originally it was going to be film, TV, and games. I did do a few game reviews, but I thought that I needed to pick a niche. I felt like it was a bit too broad with everything that I was doing, and I needed to kind of just shrink it down a bit. So I chopped off the games, and I just had, films and TV. So yeah, the channel's definitely going to have a bit of a change, because obviously in my banner it does also say film, TV, and games. So yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. Although I may keep it on. I don't know. See, I do want to review games because I'm a huge gamer and I love games. But yeah, I need to shrink it down a bit. What would you recommend that's available on Disney Plus right now? The Mandalorian, 100%. Watch The Mandalorian. It is worth the price of the Disney Plus subscription on its own. And the film Soul by Pixar. That's a really good one as well. It definitely feels like the film's more for adults than kids. Not in regards to being rude or anything, but I just don't feel like that the kids would understand it as much. Soul definitely feels like the material is a bit more sort of adult in regards to just purely for the understanding of it. Which is why I thought that when you get films like Inception, that's like a 12A, and I just wonder how, and you see like kids going to it, and I'm like, there's no way you're gonna understand any of this. So why are you here? 12A is one of the most the stupidest age rating that I've seen, because so many 12As should probably go to like a 15, because there's a certain amount of violence or language used in them that they can just get away with. And you see like these 5-6-year-olds watching a Fast and Furious film, and it's like, what? No, it's not. There was especially one with what was it? Terminator 3, where like this, I can't remember what the bad antagonist was called, the Machine. But anyway, she's in a police car, and she's like sitting behind this police dude, and she just like shoves her hand straight through his stomach, and you can just see her like twisting her arm around, like, and just like out of his stomach. He's like, ugh. And I'm like, how is that for kids? And I think they say the F word like 3 times as well, which is ridiculous. No kids should be watching that, and that's a 12A. It's honestly the way that they do the age ratings for films is just broken. There's times when I watch a 15 before, and I swear they can just, sometimes it might as well just be an 18, because it feels like they can get away with just so much. And which sort of begged the question, what the hell is an 18 like? And there's barely any 18s these days. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the cinemas, barely any film that come out is an 18 rated. I think the only few that come to mind was maybe 50 Shades of Grey. That was an 18. Trainspotting 2. That was an 18. There was another film that I saw with Michael Keaton in it that was an 18, but yeah, there's not been many. Come to mind, I just can't think of them. Back in the day, quite a few stuff was being 18 sort of rated. And I think it's when, and I looked up some of it anyway to see what constitutes, the right to give a film like an 18 rated, because I had no idea what what um what made it kept at a sort of 18 rate. And it turns out that if you what was it, if you use the C word, but you're referring to a woman's vagina instead of just calling someone the word itself, then it gets put to an 18, which I didn't know. But and I think it's drugs as well. If there's like a certain amount of drugs in the film, it goes up to an 18 as well. And maybe some certain sex scenes. I don't know, because 50 Shades of Grey was... I think I watched those and then I quickly sort of forgot about them because they were pretty bad. But yeah, so that's what gets you an 18 rated. Rating, not rated. And I think that if that's it, I think that's ridiculous. Because there are some times when I watch a 15 and it's just way too violent. But Jesus Christ, how is this not an 18? Or there's a use of like the C word like a ridiculous amount of times. And yeah, I don't know. But it's the 12A that annoys me the most, because it's broken in the fact that you could bring a 2-year-old, as long as you have an adult with you, you can bring a 2-year-old, a baby. Why would you bring a baby to a cinema? That doesn't make sense. Also, don't be doing that. Like a 2-year-old to go and watch this 12A when quite a few of them are clearly more made for adults to watch, and some of them should be raised up to a 15 because they are too violent, or just for the simple fact that they're maybe a bit more difficult to understand. Like Inception, I mean, I think I had to go and see Inception twice. I've seen it a few more times now, but I went to go and see it twice just to kind of fully understand what was going on. Same with Tenet as well. It's one of those things, it's like there's so much going on that you go back and see it, whereas, the times when I've been to see these films and there's been a violent part, there's been an F word used maybe 2 or 3 times, or it's just complicated. Then I've seen like these kids just walk past me on the stairs, and they've sat down, and I guarantee you they've come out of that not knowing what the hell has gone on, or being subjected to the violence or the swear words. And I just think it's really wrong, So yeah, that's. I know they'll never change it, and it'll always be like that. But it shouldn't be a 12A. It should just be a 12. So that if you're under 12, you can't go and see these films straight up, because you shouldn't bring your kids to some of these films. Really, you really shouldn't do, because yeah, it's not for kids, not for kids. Anyway, let's see what else. So you think they basically lower the ratings across the board? Yeah, the thing is, I know the kids are exposed to so much these days anyway. Like, even if you're a responsible parent and you don't let your kids, like, I don't know, watch an 18 rated film or something like that, I don't know. But a lot do. Fair enough, you do what you want to do. But I think that even if they are exposed to it, I don't think that really gives anyone an excuse to just put stuff in a film and let kids go and watch it. I don't think that gives anyone any excuse to do it, because I think at least, even if they are being exposed to stuff outside of the film realm, at least then you can, when your kid goes to see a film, they know that you can watch a good film. Well, depending on age, because they'll be subjected to the if you do it correctly, they'll be subjected to sort of nice films, nice sort of films made for kids, that your kids and adults can both enjoy, but there's not that kind of content in it that's harmful to a kid's sort of spongy brain who takes everything in when they're at that age where everything just kind of goes in and they just, as I said, they're a sponge. So then they kind of can learn that as they get older, then they're able to watch stuff that is more suitable for their age, and they can enjoy it because they'll be older to understand stuff and things like that. But yeah, it'd just be nice to have that experience for kids, because they shouldn't, no matter what they're exposed to in the real life, because there is a lot of crap out there to be exposed to. I just think that you should be, when you go and see a film, I think you should be safe in that environment. And you know that whatever is coming out or whatever you're watching isn't going to kind of just add to it, add to what they're already exposed to. Just, you're in a kind of a safe place for your kids, and you have a decent film that's not swearing or there's violence or anything like that. And it's just a nice experience all round. So when they come out of that, they're like, oh, that was, I really enjoyed that film. And because they understood it, because it was made for kids. But also there's quite a lot of kid films these days that do have little kind of bits in it that even the adults will probably get more than the kids, but the kids will still really enjoy it. What was it? There was in the Batman Lego film. And it was Robin, I think. He was talking to Robin. And I think Batman said to Robin, oh, what do they call you? And he said, oh, they call me Dick. And then he said, oh, kids can be cruel. And I thought that was hilarious. And obviously kids aren't really going to get that. But adults get it. But, kids still find it funny because the whole thing was generally for kids in, as a whole. And it was a good laugh and it was a good time. You don't want to be taking your kid to something where they're, effing and blinding and there's, violence and stuff like that. And they come out of it just kind of like, oh, right, okay, well, they probably didn't enjoy it as much because maybe they didn't quite understand it, or they continue to think that this stuff is all right to watch as a kid. And naturally, they'll probably want to go and do it more. So I think that, I just think it's broken. The whole rating. I'm sorry I've gone on a bit of a rant about this. I just feel quite strongly about the age ratings of films and how kids are exposed to these kind of films because of the 12A rating. Like, no matter what age you are, it's no matter what, no matter if you're 12 or you're 1, you can go and see that film as long as you have a parent with you. So you really need to chop off that A. I get it why they do it, and it's bad because obviously they want more people to come in, as many people as possible, to watch the films and to pay more money. But just have it as it was before. Chop off the A. If you're not 12, you're not getting in. Simple as. I don't care if there's a parent with you or not. You're not subjecting them to whatever is in that 12 film. Because there are quite a few 12 films to this day that I've seen and I thought, this is not for kids whatsoever. Not even maybe even for 12-year-olds, let alone 5 or 6. But yeah. Anyway, that's me done for that. I've gone on way too much of a rant about it. What are your thoughts on some of the current prices of movies on streaming services like Mulan, Disney Plus? Oh, it's a rip-off. Anything on, like, the fact that you had to pay, I think it was like 20 quid for Mulan, was a horrendous rip-off. Like, that's even so much more than even a cinema ticket. I mean, a cinema ticket's what, 8-9 quid these days, I think. Probably more, I don't know. Because I have the unlimited card, so I just go in and out, you know, without knowing about the prices these days. I mean, the food's bad enough, the pricing, but yeah. That's like, if Mulan was in cinemas and you went in there and you said, oh yeah, I had like a ticket for Mulan, and they said, oh yeah, that'd be 20 quid please, you'd be like, what, piss off? That's ridiculous. So yeah, that was a real scam, like horrendous. I can't believe that they did that. I think, I swear I heard about another film coming out that they're doing that as well. But yeah, the Mulan thing was just rubbish. It was awful, and I didn't even like the film either. I didn't pay to see it. No. But the thing is that kind of thing there turns people away from Disney Plus, and it makes them just go and stream it from somewhere else, and they're not paying the money. So yeah, really not worth it at all. Also, what's the kids' topic? Do you find movies purposely hold back? Do I find movies purposely hold back and language or violence to make them fit in a lower age bracket to get more viewers rather than hit the higher age rating? Maybe sometimes. It depends on what kind of film that you're making and who's in charge of it. And if you really feel that having more swearing and violence involved in the film is going to make it better, then I don't know. I don't think that's really the way to go about anything, really. Like, I feel that a lot of films that have come out, I feel that they have been sort of justified with the correct amount of swearing and violence in it, and it's been fine based on the rating. Whereas there are some films where they just really it's almost too much, and it needs to go to it needs to be an 18 rated from 15, because some of the stuff in there is just unreal. I think there's been way too many films that I've watched that really should have been the higher rating, especially probably more 12s and 15s. But yeah, yeah, precisely. If they'd have lowered the price of Mulan to like £5-10, as you said, £5-10, then they would have got a lot more people wanting to buy it. Whereas now, because they put it at £20, which still boggles the mind as to why they do it for that much, a lot more people are going to be streaming it somewhere else. So they're losing out on quite a lot of money. Okay, Rowena. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh yeah, I still had some questions. Let's see. Can I have a bit more water? Anthony Bedford asks, what's my favourite movie song? Ooh. Do you know what? I'd probably have to be... Actually, I don't know. I would probably say the Lord of the Rings theme, actually. Just hearing that, like, it just gives me chills, and it just makes me so happy, because I know how incredible, what it relates to is obviously so incredible that every time I hear it, yeah, I absolutely love it. Obviously, there's so many decent film soundtracks. I remember when I heard the Nickelback one for Spider-Man, that Hero, which was awesome. I remember that. That was years and years and years ago, but it was great. And it's still a good song now. Let's see. Okay, so I'm loving this username as well. Party in my pants, which is great. Party in my pants asks, what's your top 3 favourite TV series? Oh, that's a good one. Hang on. Yes, Ben, I've seen Soul, and that actually led me on to talking about the whole kids and adult things, because I was saying that I thought it was brilliant, but I feel that it's more it's got more of an adult theme than sort of more for kids. I feel like adults would enjoy it more than kids, because there's a lot more meaning involved in it. I feel that kids would come out of that film not really getting the message or having enjoyed it as much. But yeah, it's a great film. Sorry, yeah. What's my top 3 favourite TV series? That's a tricky one, I say tricky. I'd say probably my number 1 would have to be Breaking Bad, which is just incredible, perfect television. Maybe Sons of Anarchy. It's fantastic. Brilliant show. I probably would have said Game of Thrones, up to from season 1 to 7. But yeah, unfortunately season 8 does hinder it a bit. Maybe instead I say Hannibal. Excuse me. So yeah, maybe Hannibal instead, because I guess if we're going on a collective, an all-round sort of good seasons, then Hannibal, I guess. I might have to think about that one a bit more, but yeah. Let's see, we got any more questions? Thank you. Okay, Giant Bearded Carpenter Brilliant name. He asks, I'm assuming it's a he. Assumptions. Top 5 movie franchises with 3 or more films in the series. Ooh, that's an interesting one, you know. So top 5 movie franchises with 3 or more films in the series. First one has to be an obvious one, which is Lord of the Rings. Hands down. Like, my favourite films ever of all time. Just perfect trilogy. Perfect fantasy film. The Indiana Jones films, they're all fantastic too. Toy Story, they're all really good. 4 was a bit weak and probably could have done without it, but it was still pretty good. But I'd say as a trilogy, fantastic. Star Wars. Obviously, there's been so many Star Wars films, but the first 3 were, brilliant. They did so much for sci-fi, and were huge, and they're just really good all round. The rest I could kind of give or take. So if we're just going, I don't know, if I were to just say a trilogy, then Star Wars, that specific trilogy there. Although the prequels are okay, and I'd say the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has been absolutely incredible. The first couple of films in the Marvel bit were pretty bad, but they got better, and then as soon as the Russo brothers came in, just everything just became brilliant, and it was so good, so good, incredible. The fact that they can continue for 20 films to get to sort of Infinity or to Endgame is just amazing. Still have it be solid and then just end it so well. So yeah, Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'd say. Honourable mentions, John Wick. Really enjoyed those 3 films. They've been brilliant. So much action. And Keanu Reeves is just so good. The fact that he does all his own stunts as well is just really, really good. Love it. The Matrix. It's not in my favourites because the third one was a bit hit and miss. Some bits were awesome and then others were just... But then so was the second one too. The second one actually was really good until nearer to the end, when you get the guy in the white jacket just spending about an hour explaining the Matrix to Neo, and it was just, oh my god, I don't need all this. Back to the Future, that's a great set of films, brilliant set of films. That was close to being in there, to be fair. Bill and Ted, I've enjoyed all 3 of those films. They've been really good. I think that's all I can think of right now. Anyway, any film adaptations from either games or comics that haven't been made that I'd like to see, or ones you'd like to see remade better? I mean, 100% I'd like Resident Evil to be done better, and there is a new series coming out, so I really hope that's good. But the last Resident Evil films were pretty garbage. Maybe the first 2 were quite good, and then it just got worse and worse as it just went on, and the finale was just was just awful. It was a really bad film. Again, that's Paul W.S. Anderson's fault, because his style of directing is awful. His action scene is like, the sort of choreography and the way he films fights is migraine inducing. It's just like bam, 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 flash back and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it showed in Monster Hunter as well, and that's Paul W.S. Anderson too. Again, always having Mila Jovovich because they're married. But yeah, definitely Resident Evil, because it's one of my favourite game franchises of all time. And to see it butchered like that was very upsetting. See, now the Ninja Turtles, I remember the last two films that they made with Michael Bay, I think it was. They were pretty bad, and I was really looking forward to like a decent Ninja Turtles film, because I really enjoyed the animated show as a kid, and I still do even now. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it could be done really well, but just maybe not with Michael Bay. I think. Any more questions? Don't think so. I think that might be it, you know. I don't think I can actually see any more questions. Oh, hang on. This is from Nerdynomicon. Cool name. Who is your favourite film villain? Oh, that's an interesting one. Who's my favourite film villain? Well, there are lots. There are quite a lot of film villains I absolutely adore. But it's difficult. It's a difficult one. Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Obviously, Alan Rickman was just fantastic as him. Such a great villain. Hans Lander from Inglourious Bastards, which is also one of my favourite films ever. He's like this psychopath, but he's also disarmingly charming at the same time. You know, he's incredible. Christoph Waltz. I would say he's underrated, but he's not, because obviously he got the Oscar for that performance, and he was just incredible, absolutely incredible as Hans Lander. He was also fantastic in Django as well. It seems that Quentin can get out the best from him. Not Greg. What's up, Blady Poo? Hey man, how you doing? Thanks for coming into my chat. It's always good to have you here, and I always appreciate your support. Some of the worst film villains. Oh, okay. Hang on, let me just... I'll finish off my good ones, and I'll try and get back to the worst ones. So yeah, Hans Lander. Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. Oh, what a performance from Javier Bardem. Just that specific, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that specific scene where he's talking to the shopkeeper, and he flips the coin to see if he should live or not. Oh, that's so intense, and just rooted to the spot. You know, you just kind of almost rooted to the spot with fear. But he does that. It's such a bone-chilling performance from Javier. The Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker. I'd like to say Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, because obviously, but that's a kind of an origin story as to how he became it. So, you know, Heath Ledger's Joker was kind of already there, and he was the Joker, and that was kind of, you know, he was already that villain at that point. So, I'd say him at that point. Don't get me wrong, Joaquin Phoenix was absolutely perfect in that film. But then so was Heath Ledger. It's difficult. Two very different Jokers. But he was just this... like this... His performance was so like ugly but so beautiful at the same time. And he just wanted to watch the world burn. And there was nothing you could do that would affect him in any way. Because he had no care. Nothing affected him whatsoever. Not psychologically anyway. Or even physically, as Batman saw. No matter how much you beat him up or whatever, it just doesn't matter. There's definitely quite a few who... Norman Bates. Norman Bates from Psycho. He's the kind of first of a cinematic kind. A movie monster who is 100% human. And it's just that... It's that smile. That smile right at the end. When the camera's like zooming in towards him. Oh my god, that shook me. It was just amazing. But horrific at the same time. It truly defined horror. It really did. I guess I could probably say some honourable mentions like the T-1000 from Terminator 2 and Darth Vader as well. I mean, Darth Vader's, you know, probably one of the greatest villains of all time in movie history. So yeah, those would be that. Okay, worst film villains. Do you know what? I'd have to agree with you. Like, I like James Spader. I think it's Spade. I don't know. Like, I think he's got such a warming and lovely voice. Obviously, used in different contexts, it can be pretty harrowing at times. But Ultron for me was pretty bad. In general, he was not the villain that I wanted him to be, because I remember, obviously in the comics and things like that, like I know Ultron to be this cold, psychopathic robot that is just intent on just kind of destroying everything. The problem is that it's probably a lot down to probably writing and the way, you know, direction, etc. But the problem is that he was too human, the way that he acted, the way that he'd consistently make jokes and be sarcastic, things like that. That's not what you want from him anyway. Not from the character that he's meant to be. I mean, James Spader tried his best, but I just think with the way that Ultron was written and the way that James was directed, I just felt that Ultron really, yeah, precisely, he wasn't dark enough. As I said, he's meant to be this cold, psychopathic robot that wants to destroy everything. Didn't feel like that. And then what that does is that takes away any kind of like worry about, you know, what's going to happen to planet Earth because you're not that scared of him, and you know that the Avengers are going to beat him at some point. Whereas Thanos, you were genuinely scared of him because of how strong he was, and he clearly showed that time and time again. And Josh Brolin was incredible as Thanos, and yeah, it was night and day. The difference between the two was night and day, and they got Thanos so right. They got Thanos so right from him in the comics, whereas they got Ultron so wrong in the comics. And there's a huge difference there. Robbie. Hello, Robbie. Welcome to my channel. Is there something, film, game, music, that you not just dislike, but really hate? Like, why does this exist? Do you know what? Like, that's quite a broad question. Because there's so much from each category that I don't like, and that I think should just be chucked away for good. Last of Us 2. Do you know what? Like, Last of Us 2 is not something that I particularly hate as much. The game itself, the graphics, everything about it in general, like how the game's played, how you interact with everything, is perfect. It's so good, and I enjoyed actually playing it. It's a lot of fun. It's brutal at times, quite a lot actually, quite brutal, quite a lot. I just didn't like the story. I can throw the story away. Now, I've definitely heard not great. Okay, all right, my man. Thank you so much for coming into the stream. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully I will speak to you soon, and we'll hopefully do something together, like another video together or something like that. It'll be fun. I'm sure it will. Anyway, take care, man. But yeah, I didn't like the story. I hear other people's versions of why they like the story and why they didn't like the story, and I can see it. I get it. I get it why people don't. Of course I hit you up. But yeah, that's something that I didn't particularly like anyway, the story, so to speak. But I get why people did like it as two, in some ways. What else? A film. There's so many answers here, Robbie. I don't know. How many do you want from me? Maybe one from each. One from each bit. I don't know. One from each. That'll probably take up less time, I think. Film. There's so many. There's so much trash in film. And I have seen a lot of trash. There are some films that are just bad, but they're not, like, shouldn't be made at all. And there are films that are so bad that they're good, and I love those films. And then there are films that are just absolute garbage, that need to go in the garbage, and should never have been made whatsoever. Yes, Ben, Cats is one of them. Cats is one of them. I was going to go for Avatar, The Last Airbender. Jesus Christ, that film is so bad. Go in the bin. Go in the bin. But yes, Cats is awful too. Again, I've never seen... Well, I have seen, but like, it's just so much garbage. Again, I can't believe that I had to watch that all the way through just so I could do a review for it. Ugh. Awful. Avoid it. Avoid Avatar: The Last Airbender as well. Jesus. Um, there were some others as well. American Dragon. Oh, no. American Dragon Ball might be one of the worst things I've ever seen. Even if you're not a Dragon Ball fan, you will see what a crap film it is in general. If you are a Dragon Ball fan, it is one of the worst pieces of garbage you've ever seen at them trying to adapt that from the incredible anime, which I love, and they completely ruined it. The guy who got to play Goku was so wooden, so awful. In fact, the acting all round was so wooden and awful. I couldn't take it. Really, honestly, the Kamehameha was a disgrace. It was a weird version of a Kamehameha because they used it as like a healing thing. Like, I think it was one point one of them was like nearly dead. I can't remember. I tried to wipe as much of it away as possible. But the Kamehameha is meant to eviscerate people, right? Absolutely destroy them. But instead, someone was hurt and they used the Kamehameha on this person to either resurrect them. I think it was to resurrect them. And I was like, it doesn't do that. It meant destroy, not resurrect. Anyway, I will go on all night about this because I hate it so much. But yeah, there's a film that I saw called Birdemic, which I don't even know why it was made. It's just about a film where these these birds just come out of nowhere and just start attacking people. But whoever did the effects, it's honestly, it's so laughable that I would actually recommend you watch it because of how awful it is. And I'd actually like you to see how awful it is at the same time. Okay, I feel like I've done more than one here. Even though you said more than one from each is perfect, and there's so many horrendous films out there in the world that I just can't. Okay, so next we're going to go for a game. I mean, I spoke about Last of Us 2, but I can't say that was something that I really, really hated. And it's something that just shouldn't have been made, you know? That's quite difficult, actually, for games, you know? There was a Superman game that came out years and years ago. And I can't remember it, but it was so bad that I don't even know why it was made. Like it just I don't know. That games is a difficult one. It's hard to pick an awful game. There's like Custer's Revenge, Pac-Man on the Atari. They made an ET game that was horrendous. I don't even know why would you make a game about ET. Doesn't make sense. Friday the 13th. That was really bad as well. Don't need to do that. What I would say for a more recent one would be Fallout 76. Oh my lord. I mean, I know they've patched it up quite a lot now, but Jesus Christ, when that game first came out, you could drop a teapot on the floor and it would smash to pieces, and it would still be less broken than Fallout 76. I mean, I've never seen something so poor in my life come out. Like this, especially the fact that it's meant to be a big game, you know, online for everyone to play, and it's meant to be a lot of fun. But wow, 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 wow. Cyberpunk, you know, it was awful for the PS4 and the Xbox, which, yeah, obviously they didn't take the time with it. It was broken, yes. Here's to hoping that. But the thing is, Cyberpunk should never have been on the last gen at all. Like, at all. It should have been a next gen game, and they should have left it at that. Because when I saw the trailer for it, I thought, yeah, brilliant. That's only going to be for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And then it wasn't, and they were really trying to put it out on the PlayStation 4 and that, and I was just like, why? You don't need to. This game is clearly only for next gen, so leave it at that. But no, they wanted to do it for more money, and then look what happened. It failed, and they've lost a lot of money. I mean, they've got a lot of money too, but I'm just waiting to see what the big updates are like in January and well, this month and next month, and then we'll see how much better they've improved it. But yeah, okay, so that's film and games done. Music. Oh, there's been a lot of trash music out there. There's a lot of awful music. That's a tricky one, you know. I mean, I can say like artists and bands that I don't like and I think are boring or just awful. But maybe I wouldn't say why does this exist. That may be too harsh. I generally don't like chart music. I think that's a lot of crap on there. Especially like what's he called? There's a certain type of music that I think, why does this exist? And it's what is it called? It's some form of rapping. I can't remember, but it's like a little beat in the background, but they almost like talk normally through it. And I just know that it's so bad. Oh yeah, that Friday song. Yeah. That could be one of them. Yeah, I always have to use my own. Personally, I never get why people listen to the radio to get music, unless they don't have any CDs or a cable to connect to their phone. But I mean, they're pretty cheap to do so you might as well do it. But I never get why people would just get up the radio on and just listen to anything and hope that a decent song comes on, when you can just make your own playlist and have all the decent songs on all the time, and it's great. But you don't. Yeah, so just do that. But yeah, that Friday song by Rebecca, I can't remember, but that was awful. That should never have been made. Get it out. I don't like Justin Bieber. Like, I think his music's awful, and I think he's a bit of a dickhead. But I couldn't say it should never have been made. I think it was maybe a bit too harsh. Rebecca Black, that's it. I think so, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that, because there is a lot of awful music out there that I don't know why it exists, but it's hard to pick something. A lot of chart music is awful, but yeah, just put CDs in your car, get a cable to go to your phone, and just make your own playlist. Because then you know you'll like every song that comes on, rather than just unless you do just like everything, which I can't get I can't get my head around that, because I can't like everything because there's so much rubbish out there in the world. I don't know. I think that's everything, Robbie. I've definitely given you more than one for each, as I had a feeling I would do, because then more and more just comes to my head as I think about this stuff. But yeah, I think actually that's me out of questions. I don't think I have any more. Oh, let's see if I can do. Oh, what anime am I watching? Oh God, I haven't watched any anime for a bit actually. I really need to watch Attack on Titan, the new series. I think that's it at the minute to watch. I need to watch more of. I need to finish watching Parasite, because I was really enjoying that. And for some reason, I just stopped watching it, and I can't remember why. But that was really good. I need to start watching Black Clover as well. I've heard that's really good, and Fairy Tail as well. So there's a couple I need to watch more of, or just start watching. But yeah, let's see if I can just add. What I do want to do actually. See now, Robbie, if you're still here, I know you'll be interested in this, because what I want to do, if it works, is like a tier list. If it actually works, yeah. I think it's going to be slow. Yeah, I think didn't like it very much. I was going to do a tier list of Star Wars, but it's not. For some reason, it's been really slow. Okay. Well, I've been on for 2 hours now, so I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you to everyone who is still here, and to anyone who's watched it previously. What's a PC build? Oh, no idea, mate. Not really that much. Not into computers a lot to know. To be fair, like it's weird because last time I did this, it worked absolutely fine. So unless I just cut this off. Yeah, clearly my computer's not cut out for this stuff. It worked last time. I mean, I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah. I think if there's if there's no more questions, then I'm going to call it a night, I think. Actually, do you know what? What I'm going to do, just before I go, is because it doesn't want to seem to be moving along with my mouse, I'm just going to say which ones they should go into, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So let's find this, shall we? Okay, so okay. So what we've got here is the list of all these different tiers. So we've got from the Force is strong, that's the best, awesome, good, average, below average, poor, and garbage. And we've got a select list of Star Wars films and TV shows. So, just make sure. Oh, look at that. Let's make sure that's. God, how slow is that? Anyway, okay, right. So, because this doesn't like me very much. I mean, it's pretty right where that's going to go anyway. But The Mandalorian, of course, that's going to go into The Force is Strong, the top one, because it's absolutely fantastic. Oh, it actually worked all right then. Solo, I'm going to say that was below average. That was pretty bad. Really was not a fan of Solo. What's that one? Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Do you know what? I quite enjoyed that. So I'm going to put that in good. Star Wars. Yeah. See now, there's a Rise of Skywalker, which is awful. Force Awakens, which, do you know what? The Force Awakens, it was okay. You know, it was fine. It opened things up to be good, you know, and I didn't mind it at all. I thought, okay, so let's see how the other two go, and let's build it up, and let's, you know, have a good trilogy. Unfortunately, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Do you know what? Like, just for the lightsaber fight alone against Darth Maul, which to me is the best Star Wars, the best lightsaber fight I have ever seen in a Star Wars film. For that alone, that would go in The Force is Strong. Unfortunately, after taking into account everything else, I did quite enjoy the pod racing as well. So between something that was brilliant and then the rest of the film was a bit naff, I probably have to put it in the middle, to be fair. I don't like to do that because I love the lightsaber fight so much, and Darth Maul is probably my favourite Star Wars villain. He's just such a cool character. Last Jedi, poor. Ryan or Rian, I think it's Ryan. Ryan Johnson, I don't think he had any clue when he was writing Star Wars. He was new. They got a new director in. I don't know why they did that, because too many. I say too many cooks spoil the broth. Look at Mandalorian. That's the way how you do different directors. But yeah. Episode 2, poor. Rogue One. Oh, that's working a lot better now. Rogue One. I actually really enjoyed Rogue One. I'm going to say that was awesome. Of course, Empire Strikes Back. That's Force is Strong. I'm going to say it was awesome. Wait, what is that? I don't know. I can't see what that is. That's not Rebels, because that's there. No, I'm not sure what that is. I haven't seen that one. If it has, Return of the Jedi. I'm going to say that is not good. Force is Strong. That I've really enjoyed Return of the Jedi. And of course, it's a classic. It's fantastic. Rise of Skywalker, garbage. I won't go into it. You can watch my review for it if you really want to know my full sort of opinions on it. Star Wars Rebels, that was pretty good. I quite enjoyed that. And Clone Wars, I thought was awesome. I actually really enjoyed Clone Wars. I didn't think I would, but I really, really enjoyed Clone Wars. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to put A New Hope there, because they're all just the classics, you know. Don't know what that is, but yeah. So that's my tier list. What did you guys think? I don't know how many of these that you've seen. Robbie, I think you've seen most of them except for maybe Rebels and Clone Wars. Do you agree with all this, or what would you put higher or lower? Hectic Mum Jamie, welcome. Thank you. You literally dropped in just so I was sort of doing my last piece, and I was about to go. But I really appreciate you coming in, and yeah, I just wanted to say while you're here before you go that thank you so much for supporting me, and even just dropping in now just to say hello means a lot. It all means a lot to anyone who's been supporting me, being sort of a sub and deeming my videos worthy of your time. It's amazing, honestly. Thank you so much. But that is me. I'm going to go now. Thank you so much to everyone who's been in here, to those who have watched this after, probably after I've finished, doing this live. If you watched it again for a rerun, thank you to all who have watched me, supported me, been there for me. It's all been incredible. You've been incredible, and that is me